My name is Ken, but my friends call me Ken Dog, and I'm inviting you to join me as I travel down the Mother Road, Route 66. Back out on Route 66, and this time we're headed towards Livingston, Illinois. Again, I love these signs. I just love these murals like that. But here in Livingston, they got this funky place here. It's very unique. It is just crazy. It's called the Pink Elephant Antique Mall. No, I didn't go in. I mean, if you've been watching my series, you'll know I don't go into many of these places. But I wanted to check the outside out because it looks quite funky. It's a unique shop with many photo opportunities. You know, it's a large place in there that's got all sorts of stuff, you know. Plus, I guess I hear they have some really good fudge, and maybe I should have gone in to try it. But it's the old gymnasium of a school, and wow, it's kind of funky from the outside, so I can only imagine what it would be like on the inside. So let's check it out a little bit here. Yeah, that place was funky, that's for sure. I'm glad I got to drive by it, especially check out this thing here. I heard that it was actually kind of a motel or a Airbnb you can rent. I don't know, but kind of cool. But it was back out on the road, and then I got stopped for a train. I love a good train, though, so let's check this one out as he goes by. I wonder where he's going. I wonder what he's hauling. I don't know, do you ever think of things like that? If you do, comment down below and let me know. There's just something so cool about a train, even though, you know what, I've never ridden a train before. Any kind of train, unless you're talking about, you know, the subway or trains at like Disneyland and Disney World. But other than that, my next stop was actually just a drive through the town of Hamel. Really neat little town. I was headed somewhere specific just up from there, so I needed to make some ground because today was a long day, and I really wish I could have stopped into this Stagger Inn here to have a beer because it really looks like a place I would enjoy. But I didn't because I know me. I'd have stayed there too long, and I've got too many things to see along Route 66, so I kept going. After leaving the town of Hamel, I had just a little bit of a drive. It wasn't too bad, where I had to cross this single lane bridge here. That was kind of freaky, but it was neat to see. I love a good bridge, and this took me to my next spot. I'm in Madison County, Illinois, and that's the Chain of Rocks Bridge. It used to carry Route 66 travelers from Illinois into Missouri across the Mississippi River. Chain of Rocks Bridge was built in 1929 as a St. Louis bypass toll bridge. It's a cantilever through truss bridge that crosses the Mississippi River, and it's 5,353 foot long with a 22-degree bend in the middle, as you can see right out there. With the completion of the I-270 bridge in 1967, the Chain of Rocks Bridge was closed. It has been seen in movies such as Escape from New York with Kurt Russell, if you've seen that. I've honestly never seen it myself, but in 1998, TrailNet leased the bridge and they've renovated it, so now you can go out walking on it, riding your bike, whatever you want to do, and still cross where Route 66 used to cross the mighty Mississippi. I really don't remember who it was that told me about this little parking area here, but man, if I could thank them for it, I would, because it is a great way to view this area, especially the old Chain of Rocks Bridge there. I got to admit, though, it does take a little bit to get down to it. I mean, it's kind of tricky to drive down there, but once you get there, you see the views here. It is well worth making, so you should check it out yourself. You can see it on Google Maps, too, exactly where you want to go. But then I went up and I checked out the bridge itself. No, I did not get out there and try to walk across it, but maybe next time if I get back up to St. Louis. After that, it was time to hit the road. I was headed into St. Louis, and you always know you're close to the St. Louis area when you start seeing Lee's Famous Chicken. Yeah, gotta love that last name, but I needed to get into town because I had some other things I wanted to do. There is a very famous stop in St. Louis that was coming up, and I was looking forward to it. I tried to do it a few days prior on my way up to Chicago. Couldn't do it. So this time I wanted to check it out, and that's exactly what I was going to do. So once we got close enough, you could see the arch peeking up over there. You know you're almost there. And this here is that I-270 bridge that I was just talking about. Yeah, it's the new crossover. Well, new. Was built in 1967, right? And because of this bridge, it's the reason why the Chain of Rocks Bridge was closed. You know, progress, right? But we get into the Missouri side of stuff, and you really can see that arch sticking up there. Again, I was just through here just a few days ago, but this time, bringing it in Route 66, so I got to see quite a bit of other stuff that I didn't get to see last time I was in town. But once you get downtown, you can really see the arch there. What's its name? It's like the Jefferson Expansion Memorial Arch or something like that, right? But I've never gone up in it. I just haven't had that, not quite yet. But I will one of these times. But I was headed for my next stop. I'm in St. Louis, and I'm finally going to get to try Ted Drew's. Whenever I tell people I'm going to St. Louis, they always tell me you gotta go to Ted Drew's. Gotta go to Ted Drew's. Well, I don't know. I'm a Dairy Queen guy, but I decided I would go ahead and try it this time. Why not? So this location was opened in 1931, so I guess if it's still open and operating all that time, better part of 100 years, I better try it. So let's check it out. So here at Ted Drew's, I decided since the line was incredibly short, and who knows if I'll ever get back, there's a couple things I want to try. So the first one is called the All Shook Up. It's got Reese's peanut butter cups and banana mixed in. And the other one I was told to give a try. It is called, it's really messy here, honestly, because it's hot and it's melting quickly. It's called Cardinal Sin. It's got hot fudge and tart cherries, and they are both amazing. Check that out. So yeah, Ted Drew's, St. Louis. When I was by here this past Sunday, if I can find a picture, I'll put it up right now. This whole waiting area out in front of me here was just jammed full of people, and around the corner was also jammed full of people. It was insane. But today there was maybe 5 people ahead of me. There's been quite a few people that have come and gone since I've been here, but nothing even remotely close to the way it was on Sunday. Of course, it was the Sunday of Labor Day weekend, so that probably played a little bit into it as well. But this place is usually quite busy. So if you're lucky enough to get in, do it, because so far this has been amazing. Yeah, Ted Drew's was a great stop, especially if you like frozen custard. If you're there on a hot day like I was, be wary because it's going to melt and melt fast, even sitting in a car with air conditioning blasting. But once I enjoyed those, it was time to hit the road. My GPS told me I had about 3 hours or so to go to get to my next location, my hotel. But there was plenty to see along Route 66. Yeah, you just never know what you're going to see. I had no clue about what was coming up here in just a little bit. Yeah, I really love stops like this here. This Cedar Inn. I wish I could have went in, had some lunch, but after stopping at Ted Drew's, there's no chance. But I did want to make sure I got a picture of their mural because it was cool. But right here, right next to it, is a Civil War stop. Check that out. The Confederate Army under the command of General Sterling Price reached that point. That blows my mind. You just never know what you're going to see. I've studied a lot of the Civil War, and that was kind of cool to see. But headed down the road, several old motel signs, famous places from years gone by. And then there was this one. This one kind of intrigued me. I don't know if it was the sign or what, but check these out. So I decided I would drive around and take a better look at it. So why don't you join me? I really love checking out motels like that. Old motels, ones that have been there for a long time. What do they call these places? Like motor courts, right? Right, where you can pull up next to your hotel there, your room. Yeah, I really like checking that out. But one thing I really wanted to do was to get to my hotel for the night because I was getting kind of tired already. It's been a long time out on the road. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it. There's so much to see. Again, I love these wall murals like that. Check that out. Look at this motor court here. I forgot about this one, Shamrock Court. That is cool. Looks like they were actually renovating it, so hopefully it'll be open again here soon. The town of Bourbon. I wonder what that water tower is full of. Water? Bourbon? I don't know. But love that little town. But I was wanting to go check into my hotel, my motel, whatever you want to call it, and tonight I was staying at the Wagon Wheel. Yeah, the famous Wagon Wheel right here in Cuba, Missouri. Cuba, however you want to pronounce it. I heard it both ways. Really neat place. One of those motor courts, as I was talking about. They have a really cool lobby. Just check that out. Matter of fact, speaking of checking it out, let's take a look now. I had so much fun talking with them about the place, getting to learn a little bit of the history. That was awesome. I mean, just look at this place. How could you not love to stay at a place like this? It is quite popular. We'll talk about it here a little bit more in a little bit, but I wanted to go check out my room, and she gave me room number 5, lucky number 5. So I drove around back, and let's go check out my room. You know, I guess I can see where some people might not like a room like this. Too small, looks too old, that kind of thing. But I absolutely loved it. There's just something refreshing about something classic, right? I mean, it's definitely a throwback to the old days. But before I called it a night, I wanted to go drive around town a little bit, just check it out. I don't know. I know I needed to get me some sleep. I was really getting tired. But I wanted to go see what this little town happened to offer, and they call it the Mural City, right? So I knew there was going to be quite a few, and I'll show quite a bit more of that in my next video, honestly. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I went around town, just driving around. It is a cute little town. I mean, it is really cool. And then there's this really neat restaurant right here, right next to the Wagon Wheel Motel, but I don't eat meat, as I've mentioned several times, but I still wanted to check it out. Smelled good. Yeah, I mean, the smoke and everything coming from it, but there was no way I was going to go in because nope. But I loved the way they had this place decorated up. Look at that. All you can eat catfish. Now that I may have tried. I don't know. But yeah, Missouri Hick Barbecue right next to the Wagon Wheel. I mean, yeah, just such a cool little place. So before I call it a night, I want to show you just a little bit more of this place as I drive back to my room. The Wagon Wheel Motel in Cuba, Missouri is literally the oldest continually operating motel on Route 66 anywhere from Chicago to Santa Monica. It's been open and operating for almost 90 years now. Think about that, 90 years. How many people have been through this motel in 90 years? Of course, they have renovated it, they've updated it, things like that. But again, you saw the room earlier. It's got that old school charm. I love the bricks, the rocks, whatever you want to call it, that make up this place. Just look at the grounds here. I can't imagine what it's seen and the people that have stayed here, what they've gone on to do. Man, I love history like this. And the Wagon Wheel Motel in Cuba, Missouri is a great place to just step back in time. So if you're anywhere near, you're doing a Route 66 trip, try to stop by. And if you get room number 5, well, just remember, that's the room I stayed in. I could already tell this is a place I'd love to have been able to stay several days at. Price wasn't too bad. I don't remember what it was, but I know it was definitely less than $100 for the night, so that was fantastic. You know, when you're out on the road, sometimes you really have to go with a budget, and that means what I eat too. So that night, I had a cheese sandwich. That's all I had, and sometimes that's what you have to do. So while I had my dinner, I watched them setting up for something out here in the public space. I don't know what it was, but it sure did look like they were having fun once the sun went down. That's where I'm going to end this video. Thanks for watching.